everyone. I'm JT, the co-writer of Isithunzi.
And I am Kanyoki Mani, the other co-writer of Isithunzi. So, what is our film about?
Our film tells a story of a young woman named Chipra who elopes with her girlfriend Nomvula to a secluded cabin. When they get there, they're haunted by an evil mirror.
I can't wait for people to watch Isithunzi. It is going to be an amazing film.
What I want the audience to take away from our film, I want people to realize that we cannot run away from our past. Past traumas have a way of resurfacing, which can affect our relationships and our mental well-being. I really hope that audience leave with a sense of reflection, understanding that in as much as healing can be painful, it is an essential step towards building a future that is free from unaddressed traumas or pain.
The theme of our film is You Can't Run Away from the Past.
And it explores Chicha's character as she grows to be brave and fights for a future that she wants instead of being held back by a past that she won't train.
Hi, I'm Storm Danu, the character designer.
Hi, I'm Miles Boyd, the production designer. The process, first of all, was to research what abandoned buildings look like, because even though our location didn't end up completely abandoned, still needed to look like it was left alone. Second was how people move in, because the character's moving in, and also how to break the mirror without harming anyone.
That was a big
It was a very big challenge.
Well, with me, I also had to do quite a bit of research. We wanted to create, I used a concept called the concept of nothingness. This was a process to make the character styled in a simplistic way so anyone could feel like they could step into the place of the characters, but we still need to find a way to bring through the personalities and the culture of our characters, which was mainly seen in the final act. Don't want to spoil it too much.
I am Obaking Malete, one of the directors for Isithunzi. He's my co-director.
Christopher Lysovitz, no one can say my name. I am co-director alongside Obaking. What was the vision for the film?
So the vision for the film, from the get-go, we were trying to convey the idea that you cannot run away from the past through cinematography, through costume design, through all the different mediums within film making. That's what we're trying to do.
And I think expanding on that, one of those key questions you have to ask is genre. Do you want to tell the story through action? Do you want to tell it through drama? And we, both as directors and as a crew, were particularly drawn to horror as a genre. And obviously, a lot of mainstream horror relies on a lot of traditionally Western Christian iconography. You've got your upside down crosses, you've got the number of the beast, 666, you've got priests and nuns and exorcisms and whatnot. And we felt that in order to make the story uniquely ours, uniquely South African, we had to do our best to stray away from that iconography, from those tropes.
Second question, what are the key creative talents in the production? Honestly, I think everyone contributed so much to this film. I can't really call anyone a key anything, because we were all very collaborative with each other.
Yeah, no, this question, I was tempted to just list off the names of everyone who worked on this. I won't do that. We have the credits for that.
Yeah.
But
literally everyone.
Hi, my name is Isithunzi, and I was the editor for Isithunzi. I think the editing techniques that I used contributed to the story in terms of the narrative. I conceptualized the story. I contributed to the conceptual relevance of the story. I feel that I also played a very big role in terms of the genre creation of our story. I made sure that we were very recognizable genre traits, and that our film also played into the subtleness of the horror genre that we're going for, which is likely like a thriller. So yeah, there were no hard cuts. Everything was smooth and flowing.
For the film's color palette, I wanted something that's very South African, something that's very simple, clean, and very earthy and moody in a sense. So we, as a aesthetics department, decided to go for sort of dark and clean colors within our color palette. We mainly went with whites, blues, and browns. The browns represent that earthy feel of South Africa and that authenticity throughout our film. So we had a log cabin, which was perfect, and it just held a nice black and brown tone throughout the film. It also helped us with a little bit towards another take on the teal and orange side of things.
Well, throughout the film, I believe that the sound played a very crucial role to enhance and build that scary, eerie atmosphere because our film genre is a horror genre. So creating sounds like the whispers and the gushing of the wind and mixing in the whispers faintly in the background with that wind, giving the audience that feeling of is there something there or is there not. I feel like that played a very crucial role in building suspense and tension within the narrative of our film.
How the location contributed to our story. So initially our story is about this girl who runs away, or basically runs to this safe space, which is the secluded place. So the location was basically contributing to our narrative problem, which it kind of contributes to also the false victory that the protagonist thinks that they would get when they get to this place. So what we wanted was to get this place that was secluded, away from society, away from everything that could possibly give or inflict her with challenges that would remind her of the trauma of her father.
Creative techniques that I think I added to the film. My favorite thing to do is a J cut or an L cut. I think in terms of a thriller, it's very good to suspend your viewer's mind and to stretch out or elongate a moment for your viewer, because it's very important for them to retain and keep them in the story. And our story is very subtle, but there's a lot of thriller nuances within our film that I think creatively I navigated very well.
And did you have any cultural elements that you included?
Yes, we had, we didn't use the actual stuff for protection wise, but we used Mbembe. We use Mbembe for the cleansing. We also use salt for around the mirror. We used incense as well to represent the cleansing of everything as well. Found out the rest, yeah.
Well, one thing that I think everybody in the crew knows that I really enjoyed doing was the voiceovers of the demon for the sound, for the sound design of giving the demon some kind of presence in our film. I kind of drew off of mimicking the Venom voice from the movie Venom. We are Venom. Stuff like that. So that was something that was very fun and interesting for me to play with and to tweak in the mixing station as well, and to see what different effects and sounds that I can put on it to make that voice sound more immersive and give more of an enhancement for our narrative and give that character a persona as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Shanita Kamiswamy and I play the character of Chitra. So Chitra is a 3-year-old photographer and she's running away from this traumatizing past that she's experienced. And in this, she's experiencing this new relationship flowering with her girlfriend. So it's a very, very amazing character, I would say, and she's very intriguing. And one thing I would say that was intriguing or challenging about my character is the fact that she's 8 years. And me as a person, I am a very spiritual and religious person, so I wasn't sure how to come about going for that aspect of my character. So I wasn't sure if I would get it right. I wasn't sure if the believability of me playing an 8-year character would actually be something that I could do. However, I decided to focus on things that Chitra and I had in common. And from working from that, I was able to work through the differences we had, and it was a really amazing experience.
Our approach to the film was very experimental, and I think we had a general outline of sort of the feel we wanted to have in our shots, but I think on shoot we sort of really just let the story I don't know, lead us in a way. Like we had, our lights and everything planned. But yeah, I think we got a lot of really, really cool shots just because we played around with the sunset. The one thing we struggled with was different lighting on the different days with the weather. And I think that actually, it helped us be a lot more innovative. I just think we made a really cool, beautiful film, if anything.
For our marketing, we use 3 strategies. Since we don't have a huge budget, we use these 3 strategies that we have access to. And that's why social media, paid advertising, and word of mouth. For word of mouth, everyone has friends and family. There's 19 of us in our crew. So spreading Isithunzi wasn't an issue for us. 19 families, and we all have friends and family, so that was pretty easy. For social media, we used Instagram and TikTok to promote our production. We mostly primarily use Instagram because it is a picture and video format, and it is aesthetically pleasing. And for paid advertising, we use Instagram to not showcase, but to boost our trailer and our behind the scenes content. And that allowed people who don't follow us on our Instagram page to get a glimpse of our production.
So a lot of the film we try to use wide frames with a lot of empty space to make the characters feel small and to give like this eerie feeling that something is in the space with them, which we then contrast with the final scene when Chitra loses her memories. We used a macro lens to get in like as close we could with as much detail as we could, and it really makes Chitra feel really cut off from the rest of the film and from her life in the way that she is with the memory loss. We also used a lot of dynamic movement where we could. We used a lot of tracking shots to establish like the space and the geometry of the house.
How did you choose the music for this film? So as a composer, my main goal is to create an audible experience that matches the visuals and the narrative, or the mood and feel of our narrative. So that is how I chose the overall music for this production. How do you decide when and where to place music in a film? So music placement is dependent on the overall goal of a particular scene. For example, if there's a scene that has crucial dialogue that is really important for the narrative, then music will be used very subtly, or not at all, in order to preserve power in whatever is being said. Do you have a favorite piece of music for the film? Definitely. I think my favorite will definitely be the final ritual scene leading up to the climax. Moving on to visual effects. What was the most challenging visual effect to create in a film? Now, I would say by far the most challenging thing was trying to replicate an accurate mirror reflection using 2 clips. That really pushed me to my limits, but it turned out looking really good. Next question. What's your favorite VFX technique or trick that was used in this film? So I'd have to say my favorite trick was the glowing effect, as I think it really helped to reinforce the supernatural feeling or the supernatural element of our production and really drive that feeling of a looming danger surrounding our protagonists. What role did VFX play in the overall visual style of the film? So, visual effects aided in bringing our world of story to life by elevating the film through creative visuals that would be hard to replicate in real life. Were there any visual effects elements that were particularly fun and rewarding to create? I would definitely say the logo removal was quite satisfying in the end, because it also seemed like a daunting task in the beginning, but it all turned out well.
I think the most challenging thing for us, I think Alexia did touch a tiny bit on, was that, at the end of the day, we were fighting, overcast, we were fighting daylight on like some of the days. But in all honesty, I think we did very well for like what we got. And yeah, I think, some of the things we which were really, really cool that we managed to do was, simulating moonlight through shades, using fog, kind of just emphasizing the whole, how would you say, like the light beams coming through the windows. But I think the most challenging part for us, and I think that our marketing department will definitely agree, is that power. We relied heavily on generators.
Yeah.
Generators were our best friend at that point. I think that's like, I think all three of us can say it was a very much of a learning curve for us. And it's definitely put us in a better stead for going into the industry and going into our own things, is that, you know, we understand what light requires, how much power, and also, you know, just like managing batteries, managing like, you know,
all these
time.
resources, all these things.
Yeah, like, but I think also one of the things we wanted to challenge ourselves a bit on was that we wanted to mainly try just, you know, focus on using practical lighting, because I think in most horrors, even though yes, there's a lot of setup, there's a lot of, you know, moving parts and stuff, I feel like in an eerie setting, you don't need that much light as long as, like, you know, you're not making the character disappear. I think at the end of the day, it's just, you know,
it's using the darkness to our advantage. Yeah,
we're using the darkness to our advantage. I think we did very well. I think especially in the scene where Chitra sees the mirror in the glowing hand, I think, you know, there was barely any lights. We had a couple power tubes here and there. But other than that, I mean, nothing much. But yeah, I think that was the most challenging thing for us, was the power situation where we were filming. And, you know, it gave us a very much large appreciation for, you know, places where we have access to power and we have access to everything that we need. And I think it's also put us in a good stead, because now we're not solely focusing on, oh, I need all these lights. We can achieve something with minimal